He is a fight director, actor, stage combat teacher, and director. He is a former president of the Society of American Fight Directors, resident fight director for the Denver Center Theater Company and the Colorado Shakespeare Festival, and the stage combat instructor for the National Theater Conservatory and the University of Denver. He first appeared as a dwarf in Snow White in Arvada, Colorado. This winter, he will return to the Boulder Ensemble Theater Company's stage for the third time as the man who dons the shoes of Crumpet the Elf in David Sedaris's wicked comedy, The SantaLand Diaries. It is my pleasure to bring to this stage Jeffrey Kent. Knee-jerk response. What do you find funny?
Tiny dogs.
When did it occur to you that you might be an actor?
I don't think it ever has. I constantly am. You constantly feel sometimes like you've just fooled people into thinking you are one. I don't know. I know I've gone through different love-hate relationships of wanting to be one and never wanting to be one again, but I have not yet fully considered myself one.
You said tiny dog. Do you have a tiny dog?
Well, of course I have a tiny dog.
No, I've heard you have a tiny dog.
Everyone has.
Tell us about your tiny dog.
My tiny dog Titus. He's 3 years old. He is a 6-pound Chihuahua. He's got a mouth on him, and he's pretty much with me everywhere that he can be tolerated.
On stage with you?
Oh yeah, he's made some appearances. He was in Taming of the Shrew at the Colorado Shakespeare Festival. He mostly rode around in my pants. And the best part about having a Chihuahua, well, there's a lot of great things about having a Chihuahua in your pants, but I think the best part was watching an audience of 1,000 people slowly figure out that he was in there. It's like the front row would figure it out early, and they'd start laughing, and then would know, and it would slowly work its way back, and you'd have to keep turning your hips to make him move as it rolled back through the audience, realizing that there's a very small dog running around in my pants. And he had quite a bit of an attitude about him. He had his own dressing room. It was quite an experience.
A bio in the program.
He should have had a bio. He's got to get a better agent.
When did you first pick up a sword?
Well, I made a katana out of a broom handle and some electrical tape and used to run around in my backyard whacking at the fence until I was instructed that I should not hit things that are part of our property. So I've pretty much had a sword in my hand since I was a little kid. It always felt like a natural extension of my hand.
Can you tell us what a katana is?
A katana is a samurai sword. Now, mine was a broom handle, so it looked very little like, really nothing like one. But a katana was a curved samurai sword that I'm sure I saw in the film American Ninja or some other late-night Cinemax bad action movies that I was watching at far too young of an age.
I, of course, knew what a katana was, but I wanted
Of course you did.
our students to know. I'm wondering if, in order to make this a little more interesting for our students, you might consider letting me talk to Crumpet.
Yeah, we can talk to Crumpet. Let's.
Oh, I've made you feel bad.
No. Let me dig him out here. This may take a second.
Well, Crumpet.
Hi, Jim.
Well, welcome to my home.
Nice to be here.
Great. Tell me about life on the Macy's stage.
Well, it's pretty hard. Lots of kids. They're pretty damn exhausting.
I'm just kidding. I can't talk to Crumpet in this voice. What else would you like to ask Crumpet?
I don't get to hear the voice anymore?
That's not really Crumpet's voice. It's actually Crumpet hates elves that talk like that.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah. He really wishes harm on them. He's not unlike a tiny chihuahua. He's really got strong opinions about other elves and people in general, children, parents, Santas.
What would he have done to that elf that you were just using the voice of?
I'm pretty sure that he'd have found some way for him to trip in the candy cane forest and come out limping. He's pretty aggressive.
Grubbit, when did you first meet Santa?
That would be during training. And the Santas change kind of on an hourly basis. Some of the Santas maybe have a little bit to drink before they come to work, which makes for entertaining Santas. Some of these Santas seem to have agendas, social agendas that they like to let the children know about. Some of the Santas seem to think they are Santa, which are the worst of the Santas.
Is there any truth to the rumor about you and Mrs. Claus?
Well, we've had cocktails, but we're not ready to get serious. But that was after our shift ended, so I don't think that counts. It's like what Olivier said about should Hamlet sleep with Ophelia, and he said, yes, on tour.
What is the magic behind the magic window?
Some crappy Christmas lights and a mirror with a beard on it, sadly. Although when they expect it to be Cher, they get pissed.
We begin this section of the program with our questionnaire, originally designed by Marcel Proust, and then used brilliantly for 26 years by Bernard Pivot. What is your favorite word?
Laughter.
What is your least favorite word?
Judgment.
What turns you on?
Lingerie.
What turns you off?
Cold.
What sound or noise do you love?
Barks.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Cry.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Journalism.
What profession would you hate?
Cleaning.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
We know you had your best intended heart.
Thank you, Jeff, for being on Inside the Actors Studio.
Thank you, Jim, for having me.
May I thank Crumpet as well?
Sure.
Thank you, Crumpet, for being on Inside the Actors Studio.
Thank you, Jim, for having me.